Hello, this is Aamir Khollam for Baatcheet with Cafemutual. Today I'm seated with Shaily Gang, who is the head of product and alternates at Tata MF. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, glad to be here.
Same here. So today we're going to have a conversation about passives. And the first question which I'd like to ask you is, of late, Tata MF has launched a series of passive funds. What is the reason for this increased focus on passive funds?
Yeah, you rightly put it. We launched six sector index funds. And prior to the launch, we did some data analysis. And when we broke the data on passives and we took away Nifty 50 and Sensex ETFs, we realized that in all the buckets of indices, which is strategy indices or market cap indices or even sector indices, there index funds are present by way of count of funds, or there is a decent amount of AUM as compared to ETFs also in those categories. And there is activity as well as compared to ETFs. So what happens is Nifty 50 and Sensex numbers, because there's a lot of EPFO money going in there, they mask the entire data on passives. So when you leave them out and break the data, you can see the activity on index funds. Also, on sector funds, we realize that Nifty IT and Nifty Bank actually take away a lot of the AUM and activity and even the count of funds also. Barring those two, not many index funds have been launched on the other down the rung sectors. And thus, we thought that if index funds as a format is prevalent, in the first part of our analysis, if that was the case, and so they are prevalent, but sector space has not been captured by any of the fund launches, and that's why we thought we should go and be present there in the sector index fund space.
So my second question would be, like, as you know, many people do not understand mutual funds and let alone the passive funds. So how do you approach people and educate people about passive funds?
Very valid question. Yes, it's very important for us, for the asset managers, to explain to the investors the difference between active and passive. And in India, especially, the way we are conveying is that it's not active or passive. It's a diversification. When you bring in passive to the conversation, you're actually diversifying, between the judgment of active and the discipline of passive. And this particular thing, we are trying to explain. We have made attempts to explain to investors in a simple manner, with certain analogies and in a very very simple manner, and very broadly also explained how the indices are constructed so that they can appreciate an index fund portfolio and an active fund portfolio.
So according to you, under which circumstances do you think passive funds make more sense than active funds?
As I said, the way we are approaching is we are, seeking a diversification between active and passive. For example, if it's the large cap space, then an investor can look at diversifying between a large cap active fund and a Nifty 50 ETF or a Nifty 50 index fund. If it's a sector fund, person can look at diversifying between, financial services active sector fund and, approach the same space, same pocket of the market wide passive route as well. Because, in active, the fund manager can zoom in into two or three of the subparts and take overweights there and construct a portfolio. Whereas a passive approach could look at taking exposure to the various sub segments of the sector or the theme in entirety. So it could be a great diversification between the two.
Correct. So since we are on the topic of diversification, one of my last question would be, what are some of the emerging themes that investors can invest through passive routes which active routes might not offer?
Again, as I said, it's not that active route would not offer, but the way you can see is that the last mile sub-segment in a sector or a theme can also be captured very well if you put the rules in an index, which is capping market cap or capping some of the, per sector, or even doing stock capping. By some of these rules, by laying out some of these rules, you can construct a very strong and index which can take exposure to the sector or the theme in entirety. Currently, we like within the sectors we like manufacturing and infrastructure. We've created a multi-cap, as in we've along with NSE, we've co-created a multi-cap index on infrastructure and manufacturing. We also like banking and financial services index. So these are the three some sectors and themes that we like. And on the factors side, we are going out and talking more about the mid cap momentum, the momentum factor, which is overlaid on mid cap 150 index. So these are some of the ideas that we like.
Thank you so much for your time. That was Shaily Gang on passives on Cafe Mutual Baatcheet. Thank you so much.